Tarik Sugarmon was born in Memphis in 1956, grew up on Leno Alley. So Tarik is a product of Memphis. Memphis raised, Memphis born, lived in South Memphis. After 16 years of private practice, primarily handling criminal law cases, and also having handled civil litigation, I've tried cases from Dyer County to Chattanooga in the county, state, and federal courts. And I feel that I bring a new vision to the reforms that juvenile court needs. We need to look at alternatives to detention as opposed to using detention as a primary method. We can't correct a child and put him back in the same environment and expect to get something different out of it. In other words, I want to develop a family resource center that can coordinate opportunities out there in the community to help families and heal those families, and then we'll save a lot of these kids. We need to change that system because it has not worked, it is not working now. We need to find more alternatives to this. It's gotten away from healing families as a method of dealing with delinquent matters. Many jurisdictions don't even call their court systems that handle juvenile dispositions juvenile courts. They call them family courts. I want to get into having a family-friendly environment. Currently, our judicial magistrate corps, as I said, none have had any criminal law experience. Juvenile justice is a hybrid of criminal law. In that regard, we need to have magistrates that are sitting and hearing disposition of delinquent matters that are trained in criminal law, process, procedure, and also looking at ways of getting alternatives into the process. One of the things I want to implement is restorative justice. Currently, our system is set up where, under state law, the primary custodial parent is usually going to be the mother. It has to be a process that is fair to both sides and make sure that the focus is really on what is in the best interest of the child. We can do it without actually putting the kids into the system itself and giving the parents the power and the control with counseling, with training, with monitoring the kids, and being involved so that the kids know that the power and the force of the court are behind their parents to try to get these kids straightened out. When we do institute them, that they're fair, that they're not punitive in nature, and to the extent that we can obviate or relieve a person from those fees because of there being issues with them actually being able to get their license back and getting to work. We want to make sure that we give them every opportunity to get back to being productive citizens. Now, when people think about programs, they think, oh, this is going to be a tremendous expense to the taxpayers. Well, there are resources already out in our community. And quite frankly, administratively, juvenile court is top heavy. I want to find ways to reduce that budget. First thing I do is have the HR, Human Resources Department of the county do an HR audit. Hadn't had one done in 9 years. So we make sure that everybody's functioning in their job and it's one that's necessary. But then I want to have a resource coordinator who knows programs that are available in the community, be it through nonprofits, community-based programs such as churches, where for counseling, for job training, for educational issues, parents can go there and access those resources. A lot of times it's not that parents are unwilling, it's just they don't know how to access the resources that are available in the community for them. Often rules of evidence, rules of procedure, criminal law and criminal procedure are not being strictly followed. In fact, in many instances that they're absolutely just ignored. I want to make sure that not only the magistrates are trained, but they apply the laws pertinent to hearing those dispositions of those cases in a fair and consistent manner. Can be. And a new future for the children that have to come through, and the families have to come through the juvenile court system that we have. My vision is for, a more family-friendly environment. And when you speak about boys, men have to step up and raise these young men. A lot of kids that come through the system come from single-family households, and a lot of times you have a single parent that is doing all that he or she can to raise that child. Now, it takes a man to raise a man. We need to train young men to be mentors, to step in the role of fathers in the community. My experience, I mentioned I was practicing 16 years. Unlike the other gentleman that's running for this office, I was not appointed directly out of law school. He was. In my 16 years of experience, I've handled every kind of case that comes through the juvenile court, and my emphasis has been on criminal justice. As a part-time public defender and a full-time practicing attorney in criminal litigation, I've tried cases